This is McCook's Mr. Bill. It's an honor to have you here. Well, the seasons are changing. It's cooling down. It's cooling down. It won't be long till it'll be cold, ice cold. But no matter how cold the earth gets, I know something that's colder, and that's women. They can be very cold, and I'll give you two examples. Woman came up to the candy truck. She had 4 little stair-step children with her. And she said, "Mr. Bill, I can't make it in McCook." And I said, "Well, where do you work?" And she said, "Oh, I don't work." And I said, "Well, then it might be kind of hard to make it if you don't work in McCook." And she said, "Well, she gets child support from the 4 different daddies for the 4 different children." And she said, "I didn't realize that all you had to do is have someone's child. You didn't have to marry him to get child support, or she wouldn't have married the first one and divorced him." And so that's how she did it. And she said, "I make a pretty good living from that, but at the same time it isn't enough money." And she said, "The government pays also." And she says, "I have the children act up at school so they get extra aid that way, and they get all the food and every benefit she can possibly squeeze out of the taxpayer." But she said, "I need more." She says, "What I'd like to do is find a rich man." And I said, "What are you going to do with that?" And she said, "Well, one rich man, if I had his child, will pay me more child support than all 4 of these combined. So that's what I want, is a rich man." And I said, "Well, first off, I never heard of anybody on as much dark side as you are right now. Because I said, you may not be in hell yet, but you've got to be up to your neck in it. Now, I'd advise you to turn around and walk out and find a job and quit this game that you're playing." She didn't listen. And she's still out there, and she's had a few others since then. Yeah. They're out there, guys. So think twice before you think with what you have below your zipper, because it might cost you an awful lot of money for the next 18 to 20 years. Quite a few years back, the city of McCook decided they wanted sales tax, so they put it before the people to vote on it. We voted it down 5 times before they finally got it. But with that in mind, the first time they tried to pass that, I happened to be out at McDonald's taking a break, and the next booth to me were 2 fancy ladies, older but fancy ladies, well-dressed and beyond. And they were talking that they were pro-sales tax. I overheard it, and so I just turned around and I said, "I don't mean to bother you, but could you give me just a short reasoning why you're for the city sales tax?" One of the ladies said that she had just bought and paid for and built a $250,000 home here in McCook. At the time, that was a pretty good chunk of money. And she said that she's going to have to pay an awful lot of taxes on that home. And she said it's high time, though, it's high time that the white trash of southwest Nebraska and northwestern Kansas pay my taxes on that house. Now I said, "What's your definition of white trash?" And she said, "Well, white trash is anybody that doesn't own property and or anybody with less than a $50,000 in a home. That's white trash." And I said, "I only paid $6,000 for my basement home." She looked cold-eyed at me and said, "Well, then you sure know what you are. You sure know what you are." Be that as it may, she was one cold lady.